Hi everyone, this month I'm super excited to introduce you all to Doug, who's the CEO of Penny Black. So welcome Doug. Today we're going to be discussing how brands can replicate the in-store experience for e-commerce customers, and Penny Black have got a really interesting solution for this. So I'm really excited to dive into some of the details. So hi Doug, and welcome to the Pep Talk.
Hey Georgie, thanks for having me. I'm genuinely excited to be here.
Excellent. So I guess as a kind of a starting point, it would be super helpful if you could just tell us a little bit more about your background, Penny Black, and sort of your role there.
Sure. So I'm Georgie. I founded Penny Black in September last year, so September 2021. So we've been going for just over a year now. And what we do is, I guess, what we're turning packaging into what we're calling like a new customer touch point or a brand new marketing channel. And the reason why we sort of like came around this solution was, retention is becoming super important, right? Or it's always been important, but even more so now. So there's been a lot of focus on customer experience. How do you improve the customer's experience online for these shoppers? And we've been really impressed with that innovation, but we still see that the overall, the entire customer journey is broken, because whilst the purchase is made online, or the initial transactions done online, the customer still has to receive something physical. They have to actually receive something, and it's that receiving that physical moment that's often underwhelming. People receive something in a boring brown box with maybe a delivery note chucked in or whatever, and it's just a bit underwhelming. It's not that same. There's this mismatch between that awesome personalized online experience and that receiving your physical product, and that's where we step in. So we've developed some technology that allows brands to have the same amount of digital flexibility they have online at that physical moment.
Yeah, it's so interesting, because when you explain that so clearly, it's almost like a sort of, why hasn't anyone done anything like this before, or why has it been so overlooked? And I guess it seems so obvious now that having a great online experience should translate into that. Oh, I've got my dog here. That should translate into that offline experience in terms of the unboxing side of things. So I guess my next question is sort of, why do you think it has been so overlooked? Do you think COVID and sort of post-pandemic has expedited that focus on the offline experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think it hasn't been, like, I would say, completely overlooked. So what some brands have done is, you say, like, there's a huge variety in terms of how brands think about it. But one thing brands have tried to do to improve that post-purchase physical experience is they've invested a lot in sort of their packaging. So there's lots of great packaging out there at the moment. It's getting more and more, sort of like, well designed and beautiful. He definitely wants to be, or she wants to be involved.
My very naughty dog. He definitely picks his moments. Sorry.
No problem. Yeah. So I think you see this great stuff. So often, some of the packaging, it's very well designed. So is this like unboxing thing going on? But I think the problem is that the bigger problem is that brands don't see this as something that can be optimized. And that's the key thing, because they're not thinking about this as a digital marketing channel. So and so that's where we need to sort of like shift perspectives. And I think why they don't think about it as a marketing channel is because maybe the perspective is like, it's too difficult. How do you optimize and bring digitization to something that's physical? So I think that's the first big shift that they have to make. And if they can make that shift, it becomes really exciting, because one of the things that we're seeing emerge is that if brands see this as a channel now this and that can be optimized and actually bring revenue to them, this whole concept of your packaging, which is quite a large cost depending on how much you're spending on it, actually becomes a revenue line. So you're shifting this from, you're getting this sort of like, okay, this package, it can be digitized, now I'm going to be able to like get a return on that, and now something that was previously an expense becomes a money maker for me.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting sort of, as you say, shift in that sort of mindset, I suppose. And what would you say are sort of the most important factors when it comes to sort of trying to replicate that in-store experience through packaging? I guess personalization is probably one of the key elements there.
Yeah. Absolutely. You've got to show the customer that you know them on a personal level, and you do that by leveraging the data you hold for them, right? And that's why pulling in all that customer data that you hold into Penny Black's platform to personalize on what whatever level you need is really important. So you should greet them by their name and use the communication to show them what products they might want to be related to what they have bought. And the way we're kind of thinking about this is like in this online world, you're kind of almost replicating that in-store experience. So if you're in store, the shopkeeper would come around and, what would you like to buy? And because it's more real when it's that physical touch point, it feels like that. So I think that's the first thing. I think the second thing, to replicate that in-store experience to make a good packaging experience is make the customer feel integrated into your brand. Because so often you see, again, sometimes where we've seen people, use well-designed packaging, but then the collateral that goes with it is so off-brand and it's just sort of like plain boring. And I think, customers buy into brands. And so you want to make them feel like that journey is continuing. So it's that's like make it integrate with your brand so it still feels consistent. And then I think finally just do something interesting, make it a memorable experience. It's something that people go, oh, that's quite cool, right? And different every time. So, it starts feeling like, oh, this is quirky. This brand is, it's not just the same thing coming out over and over again.
Yeah, I think, it's that sort of almost going sort of above and beyond and sort of challenging their expectation of, as you say, lots of brands are just using quite boring packaging and it's sort of not so much of a thought about piece of the journey, whereas making it that much more interesting and really part of the experience and the unboxing and it being maybe slightly different each time, I can imagine really adds to the overall experience and their long-term lifetime value, hopefully, as well, in terms of more likely to come back and buy again.
Exactly.
Actually, that leads me quite nicely onto my my next question, which was around sort of tech stack and what do you see as a sort of gold standard there in terms of turning those occasional shoppers into brand advocates for life?
Yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm praising the golden children of e-com at the moment, but like Klaviyo is where, especially when it works with us, that is definitely because it's all about the data, right? And I know Klaviyo, distributes the data through email and SMS, but actually the gold standard, it's because the way they collect the detail and the level of detail and profiles that they start for us is, that's the starting point. Now there are other, data platforms out there. For us, right now the brands that we're working with and why we've spent so much time integrating with Klaviyo is because of all that data they hold, and you can pull that in for anything. So if you're connecting to reviews.io, they pull that data in your loyalty program. So for us, it's like that's the gold standard. There's lots of applications out there, but pulling that data in through Klaviyo is for us is absolutely, that's got to be the starting point right now.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely on that bandwagon. We're big fans of Klaviyo as well, so it's they're definitely a good option. Amazing. And then I guess final question is around if a brand, sort of direct consumer brand, was listening to this video and they are thinking, oh look, our packaging probably isn't up to standard or where it could be, how would you advise, or what are the sort of top few tips you'd advise that they look at in order to really start enhancing that experience? Yeah,
kind of going over some of the things we've got already. I think it's absolutely like personalization. Personalization builds that customer loyalty as you're showing them, them, and you're asking them that by building that personal connection, they're going to opt for you over the competition every time. You're sort of like building that, and as you're building that personalization trust, they start sharing more data with you, and that personalization gets richer and richer and richer over time. So I think that's where the starting point. I think use your packaging, and going to it, like use it as a moment of conversion. This is the moment when you, as a brand, when you're thinking about, you've got 100% of their attention in a very quiet moment, not in an unsaturated way. Use that as a moment to motivate your customers to convert again by making another purchase or becoming more engaged. So I guess what I'm trying to say is this is think about this as a channel that you would optimize in the same way you optimize your other channels. Use it as a moment of conversion. And then, once you've got them on this life cycle journey, don't give them the same experience every time. So, people will be expecting, oh, this is just a package. So what they sent me last time, it's going to look like this again this time. Think about how you can segment them according to where they are in their life cycle and give them a new experience every single time. And this will make them excited. So, that it's not, like I say, scan here to buy again. It'll be like, yeah, scan here, you can come to our secret society because it's your fifth purchase, or you get the, I think that's the key thing, to show them that this isn't just a generic way of a tool. You're speaking to them.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I think particularly around the segmentation piece, that if you've got VIP customers, for example, a real opportunity there to give them that enhanced experience, or show them that you care and that you matter, that they matter to you, and giving them using that segmentation to personalize the customer experience on the unboxing. The packaging side of things. Really interesting. Thanks, Doug. It's been super short and quick, but really, really interesting to dive into some of the details. I think the packaging side of things or the unboxing side of things is definitely something that is, I think, going to be more and more direct consumer brands are going to be turning their attention to, particularly now, everything online is so personalized. It makes sense to focus more of your attention on the actual offline experience more now as well.
Yeah. Thanks, Georgie. Thanks, Amy. Yeah, I think on the sort of, especially looking at the months and years ahead, one thing that we've been looking at is where people have got to make use of more of what they've got, like the days of let's spend big money on acquisition to get people's belts are tightening. And I think this is, if you just look, you've already got this package, right? You're already sending it, use that. It's already something you've got to use more. Yeah, it makes sense. Amazing. Thanks, Doug. Speak soon. Cool.